What's up, YouTube? It's like 11:30 or something. It's getting pretty late, but I just wanted to dive into rear steer, the problems I've had with self-centering, and kind of give it an explanation. So here we go. First main thing to think about with self-centering rear steer is this main joystick. Yep, that can have absolutely no play in it, and if it does, you're screwed. These link bars, especially at the bottom joints, tend to really give you a problem, so make sure whenever you're setting it up that you have these sensors correct in each way. The thing I see people kind of screw up on their self-centering rear steers, if they're running high steer arms, a lot of the times they run the joystick right off the end or to this point, and oftentimes what that does is it gives this link arm too much play. So coming into the rear steer handle, there's this joystick, left, right. I'll explain that. Basically, the joystick works left, right. If you push this front knob forward, it'll hold it stationary. And if you push it back, it'll go right back to center, just like that. Now, if I hold the joystick and I go one way like this and push in this button, it'll stop it temporarily. So I can go over. See? Rear steer is locked. As soon as I let off this button, back to center. So, yep, over temporarily. Just like that. So, yeah, that's kind of an explanation on the handle. These things are finicky. Make sure you RTV or silicone the inside. Going into the busted knuckle rear steer box, it's just a cover with relays inside of it, just like this. You see that there's 4 main relays. The last relay is your back to center. The front 2 is left to right, and then these middle 2 ones control your actuators. There are diodes inside of here. Those really like to go bad. Make sure you go on Amazon and pick up some extra diodes. They're like 20 bucks for like a pack of 5, get 2 of them. This could be like $40 on diodes, but they go bad. They kind of burn up. Always check your voltage. I run a relay to my busted knuckle box, straight to the box itself, even though it doesn't need it. Voltage surges are a real thing. Busted knuckle will not cover it if you don't. So just make sure that you run a relay to the busted knuckle box or to whatever rear steer box you have, Stasworks or the other self-centering kits. One more quick dive into these sensors. These sensors are a prong plug. If these get water or dust or dirt, they corrode really easily. As you can see on the inside there, they're really not I would not say that they're a super good plug. So if you get the opportunity to change these out and run a different sensor, just a temporary stand-in sensor, they work a lot better. I'll kind of explain what the sensor is. Essentially, the sensor just goes into a ball style plug, and then it actuates the sensor every time it's plugged in and out. So if you can get aftermarket ones or spares of these, that's a good way to go also. Final thing I'm going to talk about on the rear steer is the grounds. Always have these grounded. Ground on each side of the box, one here and then one underneath here, but the self-centering rear steer, I prefer to have it flipped upside down so all the fluid is always pointing down gravity ways to the pump, and then you run a rear steer reservoir. You don't absolutely need a rear steer reservoir, but it is a good idea to have one if you're getting crazy. One more thing, I run a 2-aught big massive power cable that goes directly to my battery, so my rear steer's on even if my switches are off. So if my switches are off, all my switches are off, I don't need to have them on to turn the rear steer. But as you can see on the rear steer box or on my ignition switch, if I turn on that, it'll say 11.2. Bingo. It's definitely a draw, so try not to use it too much without burning up your battery. It's not going to burn up your battery, but it definitely does take a lot of juice out of it. You probably, with wheels and tires, by the time you have all that weight, you could probably go through about 15 to 20 full turns before you're pretty much going to lose power from your battery, unless you have a double battery set up in your buggy, which most guys don't. And on the rear steer pump itself, you can see right here, there is a Phillips head style push and brung plug, and basically what it does is the more you tighten it, the faster the pump will steer. So tighten it in all the way full turn, the pump will increase it faster, it'll steer faster. but what it does is it adds more stress on your pump. So they recommend only having it in halfway. If you're not using your rear steer a whole bunch, then it's okay. They say if you have it plugged in all the way or turned in all the way so it's fully decked out, you can use your rear steer a total of 50 times within a given amount of 15 minutes before the pump will overheat, essentially. I don't know if that's entirely accurate. I've had the pump for a year, and I've never had it burn up on me, so that's just a recommendation. The solenoids and reactors, I've gone through like 3 of those just from them burning up on their own, but I haven't had the mechanical pump itself fail yet. Well, guys, that was just kind of a quick video on this. Make sure you get your sensors, make sure you double check your wiring, and run a relay. Those are the 3 biggest things. If you run a relay, and if you check all your sensors, make sure that those are good, get extras. And if you make sure that your inside of your sensor is hooked up correctly, as far as being hooked up on the knuckle correctly, you're gonna be all right. So electric over hydraulic is a great way to go. It really helps you on the trail. If you break down or if your motor screws up to where you don't have any steering, you can still use a rear steer. So I recommend it. Just make sure you go with the workZ kit. So thanks for watching. Peace out.